We're live.
Hello, everybody. So, Time Warp Tuesday. I'm stepping back into the past. Absolutely stepping back into the past. You know that? Because we haven't been Time Warp Tuesday forever. TWL is here and it's staying. So, we're with Jessica Krutell.
Hello.
From Mystic Mitten. And we are going to be talking about haunted items and your paranormal business. Absolutely. And then we are going to take a walk through the store.
We are.
And we're going to, it's on her.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Can you hear her?
I just want to make sure.
Oh, okay. So we're going to walk through the store. Jessica's going to walk with Steve through the store because if you find anything haunted, Steve will be able to tell you because he's got that memory where he bought it, all that type of stuff, as much as he knows about the item.
Love that.
Okay. But I got to tell you, so did you go to any Halloween parties this weekend? Either of you?
Not this weekend, no.
No?
Not
How about
yet.
you, Steve? Oh, you did.
I looked at a little like setups in the neighborhood near my house
saw
and
that,
stuff,
yes.
and I saw some cool things.
And some of those pictures are going to be coming on, right? You sent them to me, didn't you?
I think so.
Anyways, we got a lot going because Jessica also runs the St. Clair Shores Haunted House Tour.
Yes, I do. Yes.
And we'll get into that as well. And that's happening on the 25th.
That is correct. Yeah, it's
24th,
taking
25th,
place on the 24th and the 25th this year.
Correct. So, and we're going to get into that. But I've got a video to show you guys because this weekend, Steve and I went to Port Huron. And first of all, we went to the Raven and the Raven Cafe. What did you think of it, Steve?
It was different. It was good food. It was crowded, but it was good. I enjoyed it.
It was good. If you haven't been to the Raven Cafe, go up there and check it out.
It's
But
all
go ahead.
Edgar Allan Poe themed.
It's very much Edgar Allan Poe themed. But I went up. We were up there because of the Fairy Tales Gone Wrong pinup. I guess pinup show. It's the only show in the state of Michigan that actually features men.
Wow.
They have two of
This
them.
fairy's tale was wrong.
Yes, it was. So they have two of them. They have the men, the kings, and then they have the queens, which is they have the female pinup show after. So I was part of that, and I actually took first place. If you guys would see the photo that Nikki posted a little while ago on Facebook, Dan, her other half, came in and shaved my head into
rocking the mohawk again.
thin mohawk. So when you see me in this, it's not a headpiece. It's actually I shaved my head for this and put up a red mohawk. So we're going to throw it to that, and it's only a minute long. So we're going to throw it to that. Very good.
Lovely men who were brave enough to join us. Tweedledee.
All right. Give it the pose, Tweedledee.
They have 4 prizes for men, right? There's only 4 men. So.
And then our twisted overlord of twisted fairy tales is very alarming, people. It's Prince Alarming. It's just a little more forked up.
Give it the pose.
All right. If we can get one more good picture, and then
We're back.
So we're back. So that was me taking my crown and showing, but we put a lot of work into that costume. I mean, it wasn't just me. Steve helped. He picked up a lot of stuff. Nikki helped. Her other half came. We've been planning it for months. But, and I will do it again. There needs to be more male shows like that because I think it'd be fun.
I agree.
Don't you agree?
I agree.
Yes. So we are here with, and we have an image of the, of your logo, Mystic Mitten, coming
Thank
up.
you.
So tell me about Mystic Mitten.
So we were funded back in 2017. We are a female-led paranormal group based out of St. Clair Shores, Michigan. When I was a child growing up, I always watched every Wednesday. I would watch Ghost Hunters with my mom, listen to my grandmother's like actual ghost stories herself. That kind of inspired me to really get involved in this field. You know, when I was a child and I was watching those shows on TV, you know, like the age of like 12 and 13, I was kind of embarrassed to talk about it. And then my life has totally shifted after I've just put it out there that this is what I
Mhm.
do. You know, I don't keep it a secret from anybody, and it's just really blossomed into something super great. The majority of places that we investigate are residential cases as
Mhm.
well as businesses. My main goal is to make the paranormal more normal. That's kind of my little tagline slogan, and I want people to feel comfortable in their space, but I also don't think that we need to shoo the spirits away. I
No.
think that we can kind of come to terms and set those boundaries and be comfortable reclaiming our area. But at the same time, like if they're hanging out there too, they've got to be passionate about something. So I think it's important for us to just kind of live simultaneously alongside each other.
I agree. I love that idea
Thank
because
you.
I don't think all spirits are bad.
Correct.
You know, some of them might be there just to watch you,
Yes.
just to make sure everything is good. I have a story to tell you, but I'll do that in a
Sure.
moment about the house I grew up in. How many times do you get that?
Often, but I love to hear it. That's what I want, though. I want this space to feel comfortable. I want people to
Right.
feel willing to go out of the way to share
Mhm.
their stories with me and feel comfortable talking about it. I think that's really important.
So what type? So when you're called out, so tell me, Mystic Mitten, are you more busy or during Halloween?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we do a lot of library presentations. Nikki attended one last Tuesday, a week ago. We do a lot of library presentations. Sometimes we will do ticketed events in the fall too, where it's kind of like a sips and ghost hunt, spirit
Right.
with the spirits.
Mhm.
So that usually picks up, but the paranormal activity takes place at all times throughout the year.
Do you
Go on.
think you're busier during this time of year partially
You
because
kind of
like the
have to
veil is thinner, or also because that's where everybody's brain starts going?
It's when
like
everyone's
maybe
brain starts going.
imagination gets a little
Mhm.
Totally.
overacted, so a little bit of both. Like
Totally,
maybe
totally.
there's actually more
It's-
activity, and then there's more
exactly.
people going like, "Oh, something spooky just
Mhm.
happened."
It's called spooky season for a reason, and I think that time of year it's definitely all more on our minds
Mhm.
more often. So the chance of things popping up, it could be because the veil is thinning, it could be because we have Day of the Dead coming up. There's
Mhm.
multiple different reasons, but ultimately it's on our mind more, and whether that means that we're projecting it and making it happen and manifesting it because we're thinking about it so often, or perhaps the spirits also celebrate Halloween. I don't know. There's not really any right or wrong true answer in this field.
So what happens when you come across something that is okay? So you've been doing this for some time.
Yes.
So you've done many homes, many different. You've come across many different spirits,
Yes.
probably both good and bad, right?
I would say mostly good. I don't think
Oh,
I've ever
good. Have
come
you
across.
had
I don't think I've ever come across a bad spirit.
a bad spirit?
I don't
That
think
makes
so.
me even happier because
Yes.
that means there's more good spirits in the world than bad spirits, right?
Finds it here.
Unless she finds it here, right? I know.
Maybe. The way that I look at it though is
Well,
that
there's one right there.
is that there's nice people in the real world.
No, the
There's nice people in the real world, and then there's like mean, crabby people in the
Right.
real world. So I don't really think that there's anything malicious out there to
Mm-hmm.
get you. I just think that some people just continue to stay crabby in the afterlife, and
exactly.
that's just who they are.
So you brought some stuff with you.
I did.
And first of all, let's talk about your equipment. Well,
Yes.
you have a lot of equipment here that you
Yes.
use.
And this is just a small scale
Mhm.
of things that are easily portable for walking around. So
what are some of these?
to get started, the very first piece of equipment, everyone has this on your
To that one.
phone,
Mhm.
a voice recorder. It's built into your cell phone. So this is
Okay.
the very first thing that we are using when we get to a site. We are turning this on immediately, and we are turning it off at the end. Okay.
And what are we listening
And
for?
on here, we are just recording everything. This is just capturing
Background
any
sounds, stuff like
audio,
that.
background sounds, us setting up, listening to the stories of
Mhm.
the resident that we might be investigating with. We do also encourage our clients to stay with us
Yeah.
throughout the process.
Oh, well, of
because
course.
they're familiar with the space. They're
Right.
familiar with the spirit. I'm just a stranger coming in with a whole bunch
Mhm.
of devices that the spirit might not know.
So you won't know if that picked anything up until after the fact.
Correct.
So
My
you have
husband
to have
did.
an update where
Exactly,
something's yelling,
Can you hear
"Get
him
out,
okay?"
get out."
Okay.
My husband did just get me for
Mhm.
my birthday a couple days ago. I haven't gotten to play with it yet. A live voice recorder, so you can actually listen to it in real time. So I am excited about that one. I didn't bring it because I literally got it like a day ago. So
What's this?
Upgrade though.
yes,
That's nice.
exactly. So this is a K2. And this is a electromagnetic field detecting device. Now, you will notice that it is going to flash periodically. Ultimately, we do have a lot of lights around us, a lot of older lights as well. Now, this device is useful for casing the place. When you first get there, walk around with this, see if there's any hot spots that are triggering it. It might create like a Faraday cage, as we would call it. And if the wiring is bad, it can make you feel, you can see how it's going off, you can hear it too. It can make you feel uncomfortable.
Right.
It can even, in some extreme cases, cause hallucinations or paranoia. And it might just be tied to the fact that there's bad electrical by you.
Okay.
And you just need an electrician to come to your house.
Move over this
Or
way
it could
to
just,
see the buzz.
it's honestly,
Mic
it's
on
probably
too.
the mic. It's probably the mic.
So let me ask you, is this something that you would see, like, because we see, and I know that this is not movie stuff,
Sure.
but you see like them walking around with it.
Yes.
Is it the electro, because spirits have an electromagnetic
That is correct.
force?
When it comes to the paranormal using this device, you
Mhm.
can get yes or no responses. Like if you want to show us yes, light up to a specific color. Mine actually has, I'm sure the camera picked it up, like an audio quality to it, which is nice, so you don't have to keep your eyes on it the whole time. But the idea in theory is that spirits are electricity. It's energy, and I did a little science project last week where it just shows that energy never dies. It can only be transferred. So if a spirit is trying to manifest or it's trying to make something happen, there might be some changes in the electromagnetic field. So, and they can communicate with this pretty easily as long as it's in a spot that doesn't have a whole bunch of crazy lights.
So what's this thing here?
So this is a higher end piece. This is one of the more expensive pieces of equipment on the table. This is a geophone. It's also known as a footstep tracker.
Okay.
So this device is going to be something that you want to put out if you hear footsteps or if you hear like somebody coming down the stairs often, and it's going to light up and it will register for every footstep it hits, which is really cool. So I can turn it on and just kind of show you guys like what it would do. So every time that it would get hit, it will register that
so
it's
the
tracking
movement
it.
of it, so it would
impulses.
Correct. Yeah. So it has a little sensor underneath it, and the sensor makes it sit almost flush, slightly not flush. And that's going to allow it to wobble a little bit more, especially since the sensor is kind of based in the middle of it. So it's extremely sensitive for picking up any sort of hits on the ground, which is very important in a lot of investigations.
That is cool.
Yeah,
and
even, like,
I
maybe
mean,
if a table's moving or cabinet doors banging,
Yep.
kind of
And
stuff.
this is a piece where it's like the K2 and the voice recorder. These are just generally used items, like electricians, construction workers will use devices like that. But this is a piece that's specifically designed for ghost hunting.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
That's really cool.
Now this looks interesting.
Yes. So this is the REM pod. Now the REM pod is a piece that you will see very often on TV and in movies. The REM pod emits a bubble, and it has a sensor with this antenna. You can adjust its range, and anytime that something enters its bubble, it will alert you. So if you walk past it, or if something wishes past it, or let's say your pet cat gets a little curious, it will alert that it's detected something within its range. Now this specific model also has a temperature gauge on it. And that will show us if there's a change in temperature within 10 degrees.
Is it true that if there's a spirit present, the temperature drops?
It can be. It can be. I don't really think that there's like a specific right or wrong
for that.
For any of this.
Because I've heard that before.
We're just, we all have our own ideas, our own logics.
Exactly.
By no means am I an expert. I don't really think anybody is an expert in this field, but there
Nobody's
is a theory.
been there and back.
Exactly. There is a theory that temperature change will happen as activity is starting.
A lot of the myths I'm trying to debunk are movie myths.
Sure, of course.
Do you know what I mean?
And that's where we get a lot
Because
of our information
it is.
until we talk to somebody who actually does it.
Right.
Otherwise, everybody's thinking like,
we will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna call.
Yeah.
We'll call Jessica.
Yeah.
Do you have a question?
And other than the temperature detection on
Yes.
this, it's just basically a motion detector. Then, correct?
Essentially, yes, but it's emitting a range. Once again, it's kind of an electronic range, in that
So
bubble.
it's
If
just not
something
physical
passes,
movement, it's going to detect energy movement.
it could. Yes,
Like impulses.
Yes.
as
That's
well,
awesome.
So like
it
either a
could. Yes,
heartbeat
yep.
or-
So if a spirit was to pass that, the
Mhm.
theory is that it would alert, and we have seen it used multiple times where we've had success with that. Often you will see the REM pod and the K2 in use simultaneously together. There was one time that we were investigating the Roma Cafe in Detroit,
Right.
and the Purple Gang used to hang out there.
He
Way
likes the Purple Gang.
long time ago, the Purple Gang used to hang out there, and it was a hot spot. So we brought
You should go do Henry the
I
Hatter.
say we just met their hat dealer.
We did.
It all ties together.
So we brought an offering of whiskey, and we had the REM pod set up in the middle of the room. And we
Okay.
had 3 different K2s scattered about, kind of in a triangle around the REM pod. and we opened the jar of whiskey. The
Uh-huh.
second the aroma from that whiskey hit the air, every device went off.
So let me ask you then, they have a sense of smell still
I would believe so, yeah.
in order for it to all go
Right.
off,
Mhm.
but they can't touch it. I mean, they're not going to drink it. Well, that
Right.
we know of.
Right.
But I always say that we know of because we don't know.
We don't know.
You know
We
what I
don't
mean?
know.
We say that the alcohol evaporated, but it could be a bunch of spirits sitting around getting
Spirits
drunk.
and spirits.
Grabbing the neck of the bottle and coming up empty-handed.
You know what I mean? But
Maybe.
Well, I hear a lot of ghost stories about them emitting familiar smells too.
correct.
You'll
Oh,
smell
true.
someone's perfume
Yeah.
or
Yes, the
cigar
cigars.
smoke.
is that
or-
common?
Yes, that is common. You know, it kind of is one of those things too, and perhaps, you know, there's different types of hauntings. There's intelligent hauntings, there's residual hauntings.
Mhm.
That smell, perhaps it might not even be haunting, it just might be a residual smell. Like that smell had just been in that space so long
Mhm.
that, you know, if the
Permeated.
the atmosphere changes slightly, and then all of a sudden your wood walls are starting to smell like your Uncle Joe's cigars
Could
or
be
something.
psychosomatic, too.
But that's also true.
Mhm.
But there is a lot of stories that are
Mhm.
tied to that. That's a very common trope too when it comes to very well-known haunted places, like the Szechuan Lighthouse up in the Upper Peninsula. They have reports of cigar smells and objects moving, and it's just a very common trope. But I haven't
Right.
personally experienced a phantom smell firsthand
Yet,
yet.
because you're not done doing this for quite some
Exactly. So if somebody's out there who is experiencing that,
time. Yes. Now I know you have dowsing rods, and we'll get to those in a minute because
Yes.
we have a video for you to see. Is this part of the dowsing rod?
so no, this is
Okay.
just a thermometer.
Oh.
Now this is a useful tool. Once again, this is just something that most people would have at their house or
Mhm.
a construction worker. What's nice about this one though is that it has like a pinpointer on it, so it can read like ambient temperature.
Right.
But as well, if you're like trying to figure out, like, let's say, you know, like the air is actually on, you can
Mhm.
like pinpoint that exact location or that object. If it's a haunted object, you can pinpoint the object itself rather than just reading the room.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So you brought some haunted things with
Yes.
you that you know for a fact are haunted.
Yes.
Not this stuff here. You've got Annabelle here.
So this, talking about movies,
Yeah, I know.
this
They
is why
changed
I
the
brought
doll.
her. They changed the doll.
Mhm.
It was originally an Annabelle doll, this exact model and make too, which I bought off of Marketplace.
And size.
Same size, yes. Like this is
Can
like
I hold him
you
to
can,
show? Can
totally.
I hold
Are
him?
you crazy?
This is the same size. Okay,
Well,
so
not a lot of people know that
No.
it was Raggedy
No.
Ann.
and the
Probably
reason,
trademarking.
well, it was
Yeah.
because I read
don't
the
want
reason that they
Get tarnished.
when that one guy bought the true Annabelle, he had
Yes.
just bought him. They said that Raggedy Ann would not allow the Raggedy Ann doll to
Right.
be used
Sure.
because it would destroy the reputation.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What if it
Yeah.
was a
Right.
Mickey Mouse toy? or
Exactly.
After 100
Yeah.
years, I think that becomes
Well,
a public
possibly.
domain.
Yeah, but
But
if somebody still owns it, would you want that?
Yeah,
attached?
or
I think
they
that's
just
why they're
asked
like,
and they
"No,
said
we don't want
okay.
that likeness
They
being
could have asked, or they
mystery
could have
thing."
There's another
redone.
thing with Raggedy Ann's, if they don't
Mhm.
have the heart engraved over where the heart would be, then it's not a real Raggedy Ann either.
Look,
But then you had like Chucky though, who's kind of based on a real
That is
toy.
that is
Right.
also
My
based on a
buddy.
real
Yes.
toy. My buddy, yep.
Yes.
So Raggedy Ann. So this is Raggedy Ann, and is she haunted? This one?
She is not. No.
But this is just the Annabelle.
No, this is just the Annabelle doll. Like
Yep.
if you were to go to the Conjuring house, or if you were to go to the museums,
Mhm.
and you are to actually go to one of the events where that doll is floating around, which
Mhm.
they do travel with it.
Yep.
When you're looking at
Maybe
that
stop
case, you
traveling
are
with
not
it.
looking at the scary thing you see in the movie.
No, you're looking
You're
at
looking
this.
at this, the same exact
Yep.
model and make of this.
Yep.
And I bought it off of a
Mhm.
really sweet woman on Facebook Marketplace. She just thought I was a doll collector. I didn't tell her that I got it
That
because
was
it
very
was
nice.
the
Raggedy
same
Hand is
model
still
and
highly
make.
collectible.
But that's like an example of
Exactly.
Hollywood.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Exaggerating
Hollywood
or
made
Yeah.
her very
dramatizing.
scary compared to what she
Yeah.
really looks
Mhm.
like.
And they really didn't announce that it was a Raggedy Ann doll until years after the
Correct.
movie.
Correct. So very few people knew
Right.
that prior to those movies even existing.
And Conjuring and the Conjuring universe is actually based off this doll,
That is correct.
and the entire universe
Yes.
was built into that.
Yes. Yeah. So it's a very
Mhm.
interesting rabbit hole. Right now it's a
Yes.
very hot topic in the paranormal community. So I'm just going to stay neutral.
Yeah.
But the Conjuring house itself is potentially on the market.
I just
Now,
saw something like
is
while
it the
we were all
house?
chatting and
Mhm.
scrolling. It
Yeah.
was like breaking in the Save the Conjuring House
Yeah,
saga,
yes,
and I was
yeah.
like, "Oh, I want to read that later.
So,
I
Yeah.
want to see what's
since we're
going
talking
on."
about scary houses, can I tell you my story real quick
Yes,
before we talk about
absolutely.
these?
Totally.
So, I grew up in a house in White Cloud, Michigan, which is
Okay.
a tiny little town that used to be called Hookman's Field.
Okay.
And the home that my father had worked, I
You show
know.
me where that's at on the mitten. Perfect. Thank you.
And one of these days, I may have to take you up there.
Okay.
Because the town was called Hookmansville, or the area of town was called Hookman's Field.
Yes.
And so the house we lived next door to this massive home. It was
Okay.
one of the original homes that was there from the early 1800s. 3 stories, huge home. And we lived next door to it. Well, my father loved that house so much, he finally bought it in 1980.
Okay.
And we didn't remodel it, didn't do anything. And in November of that year, they were all killed in a car crash. My father, my stepmother, both my brothers.
Oh my God.
And so when doing the history on that house, we found out that every family that lived in that house, if not only a member, but the entire family were killed in some
Goosebumps.
way or another.
Oh my
So it's
God.
full of mass
Yeah,
tragedy.
and not all of it in the house. Yeah, not all of it in the
Yeah.
house. Do you know what I mean? But
Right,
several of them
right.
in the house. And then upon further investigation into that
Mhm.
house, we found out that prior to it being a home, it was a hospital.
Okay.
Mm.
And it's also within walking distance of the major cemetery.
Right.
So there is unfinished history in that house, meaning
Totally.
there's a good 60 to 70 year gap where nobody knows anything about the house.
Really? Okay.
So is it possible, do you think, that spirit could
Wow.
cause
Like a curse.
like a
Right.
curse?
Right. I think it's interesting too that the house was so attractive to your family.
It was very attractive
and
to my family.
It was probably very attractive to all of the other
Mhm.
previous owners or whoever had resided
Yeah.
there. And if it was originally a hospital, I don't know if it I don't know. It's hard to answer without
It
being there.
is. And I know that back in the
there's
early
so much
1800s,
trauma going into one location.
the hospital held not only physically but mentally.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe it was a small town and
Yeah.
there was
Right,
like the
exactly.
medical
The
It
spot,
burnt down and they
surely.
turned it into a
The
home.
house had berms on the
Oh,
sides.
my
It was elevated
gosh.
above
Yeah.
everything else.
Yeah.
It was kind
I'll
of
show
like
you everything.
if you were
Up on the
standing
hill.
down
Yeah,
the road.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe next year.
Right.
Thunder
Mm.
clapping.
Wow.
So the people who bought it after my family had passed away,
Okay.
they bought it, and 9 years later they moved into it. They bought
Okay.
it and remodeled the whole house. 9 years later they moved
Mm.
into it. Both of their children were born handicapped, and one of them died.
Oh my gosh.
So it is now sitting empty again.
Okay.
Jeez.
Wow.
So I'll show you all the information.
Oh,
So do you think something like that a home can be cursed, like the Conjuring home,
yeah. Yeah.
like the Amityville home, like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think especially it's one thing if it's just a one-off case, but if it has such deep-rooted history and so much trauma
There's
going
not-
on in the
yeah.
repetition
Yeah.
that keeps repeating, and
Seems like there's something.
it's interesting that it was a hospital and that all of these like very traumatic
Mhm.
things that you need a hospital for
And
keep
I don't know
happening tying to the
If anyone
house as
died in
well.
it when the hospital burnt down,
Right.
that what was left they turned into a home.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It even had the original the
Wow.
water tower on the property from it.
Oh my God.
So that was my question about that, and I'm going to
Okay.
have more about it as we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what else you got here?
Okay, so we have the Annabelle. This is not a haunted doll. This is just a replica.
Right.
But this is a replica of my favorite haunted doll. Okay, so this is Robert the doll. Robert resides in Key West.
No movie yet.
No movie yet.
Okay.
No, there was a movie, but it's like B movie. It's
Oh.
like it didn't.
B movies are my favorite.
Yeah, it didn't.
We're all about movies.
Well,
Mhm.
there is like a B movie, I think.
Oh, it says the original Robert doll.
Yes. So they sell replicas in the shop. Now Robert the doll,
Oh.
because I am like a
I
doll
had-
person.
did you know anything
kind of
about that
circling
one?
back on like
I'm
the
upset.
Mhm.
about my Halloween tour. So I started as a haunted house actor
Mhm.
19 years ago, and when I started as a haunted doll, and it just kind of like morphed into where everything is now. So I love haunted dolls. I feel very passionate towards them, and perhaps that's why these guys are my friends, and they see me as friends. And they don't cause any ruckus for me at my house. But Robert the doll is my personal favorite haunted doll. He is located at the East Fort Martello Museum in Key West.
Oh, okay.
I did have the pleasure of seeing him.
The original
the
one.
original.
Uh-huh.
And when the lore around Robert is that if you photograph him without asking his permission, he kind of curses you and he gives you really bad vibes.
How do you know if he says yes or
sorry.
no?
The camera's all fried. He's like, can I,
Well, this isn't the original.
This is
How
the
do you know if he
original.
says yes or no?
So he's not going to respond. You just have to say like, is it okay if I take your picture before just committing to
Right.
taking the picture?
And then if he doesn't want it, you'll know later.
Right.
Like saying bye on Ouija board. It's like
Exactly.
a courtesy
Okay, so
thing.
can I tell you, Roberto is not the biggest fan of
Oh
Anything
no!
this type of
paranormal or
stuff.
Oh
creepy.
no! I'm sorry.
it makes him a little nervous.
No, I just believe in it so much.
I do
That's
too.
fair.
I know all about it.
So when you go to the museum, the walls are actually lined with letters of people asking for his forgiveness.
Awesome.
And
Wow.
my best friend who went with us, like how they had it set up was kind of goofy. It's kind of a play. So you like turn around the corner and there's this beautiful, there's like angelic light beaming on him. The first thing you do is whip out your phone, take a picture, like just habitually. And she took a picture and she felt that she was cursed. So my best friend who went with me wrote him a letter
What
to
happened with
apologize.
him? Why is he cursed? Why
So-
is this doll even a thing?
He was made by a groundskeeper for a little boy, and the little boy
Somebody at the door?
Oh my
Go ahead.
and the little boy would always get in trouble.
Uh-huh.
And anytime that he would get in trouble, he would blame it on Robert. And he would say Robert did it. So the little boy was kind of a little trickster, and he had this doll, and he would, as little boys do, they get into mischief. And
Mhm.
anytime
Flying
that
off the shelves and circling in the air over there.
so as he would get in trouble, he would blame it on Robert. So
Mhm.
there is some theory that all of that like
Naughty
naughty
manifestations.
manifestation
Ah.
was placed on this doll
Ooh.
and his little lion. However,
Oh,
I have had the pleasure of hearing Robert's doll keeper
Okay.
speak, and apparently now people who are buying the replicas are experiencing
Mhm.
paranormal activity
Ooh,
because
Nice.
like
his powers have
filtering out.
grown so
Oh.
much
Over
that
time.
Well, he's got
Just
over
like
time,
the little boy
exactly.
grows.
Exactly.
Yep.
Wow.
So I bought this one many years ago, so perhaps I got him before they started selling haunted replicas.
Wow.
Can
they sell haunted replicas?
I mean,
you
You
know,
know what
if
I
we
mean?
find something in here that's
Oh,
haunted,
yeah.
we're going to tell our customers.
Yes. What about this girl?
Might be an incentive for some
so
people.
this is a real haunted doll.
Oh.
This is a antique felt doll.
Mhm.
And when we were at an antique store, kind of mid-Michigan, and we were walking around with our ghost hunting equipment,
Mhm.
all of our devices started going off when we
Can
got
you
to
see
this
this good?
one specific cabinet that had a lot
Can you
of
see this
dolls
good?
in it.
Okay.
And we took a K2 device and we set them on each of the different dolls'
Mhm.
laps. And it was only reacting, and we were getting yes and no answers from this little lady right here.
Really?
So we all chipped in together and splurged. She's not a
She
cheap
was-
item by
yeah.
any means.
Well, you can tell she's older
So if
just
it's
based on
cursed,
her.
you just split up the curse.
Yeah, so we split up the
There you
curse.
go.
So it was kind of like Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants,
Right.
but Sisterhood of the Traveling Haunted Doll.
Haunted doll.
And
Does
she would kind of
share with all the
she did.
buyers?
Yes, she did.
I love
So
that.
she would travel around with all the buyers. And ever since we took her home, you can still kind of see it's starting to flare up a little bit now. So I do need to fix her up. But on the bridge of her nose, there's a small hole.
Yes.
And that hole was a little bit larger when we got her. And there was like a lot of fuzz sticking out. And we kind of like tucked it back in. And we kind of fixed her up a little bit, stitched
Made
her
her happy.
costuming, made her happy.
Yeah.
And then after that, the activity surrounding her kind of
Inuit?
subsided.
Inuit?
But I just feel, now she's able to be pristine. She's showcased. I do travel around with her and bring her to different
Yeah.
libraries. And she's able to get the
She's
glory
probably
that she
Eastern European?
deserves. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So you're just the haunted doll whisperer. It seems like
Maybe.
they
Apparently.
like you
Maybe.
and are
But here's the other thing
made
too,
her
okay?
happy.
So dolls have a higher chance of being haunted for a couple
Because they're
different
human
reasons.
form?
Because they're human form. Kids get them and kids nurture them. Kids, when we're a child, we all have
Total
our one
innocence.
baby doll, total
Mhm.
innocent. Kid energy is totally different than adult energy.
Oh, yeah, it
Like,
is.
they
I
lose
have a
that
story
sparkle.
too, and it
Yeah.
ties into
And
that.
when we're kids, we have that imagination, that
Mhm.
creativity, that drive, that spirit, that willingness to project into items. So I think dolls have a higher chance of being haunted than a lot of objects. And I also think that haunted objects are substantially less rare than TV and movies make you think.
Oh, yeah.
My whole house is full of secondhand items. You
Well,
guys
with
know
the
I
amount
shop
of
Yeah,
here,
people
like-
who actually die,
right.
because every day multiple people
Oh
are
my
dying.
gosh.
I mean,
if every
it could
old
be
item
everywhere.
had an
The point is,
attachment.
everything in here was owned by somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's an antique store called Dead People's Stuff.
Yes.
Well,
like, like
we're
that is what
caretakers.
Yes, exactly.
Steve always says we're caretakers of things that we pass down to the next generation.
I love that.
You had a story based on this?
Well, based on, and I was gonna kind of chat with her about it at her ghost hunting class, but I wanted to save it for tonight. And it's funny that she kind of told a few people there that there's this theory that children are much more open, and that, you know, as we grow older, we become more skeptical, we become less observant, we become less imaginative.
Yeah.
And so my mother can probably corroborate this a little bit better if she's watching, or she can clarify details.
There's a lot of people watching, so
the second house that I lived in, I was still like in diapers, little. I could talk, but not a lot. I wasn't like, you know, jabbering full sentences yet or anything. So I was very, very young.
You remember that?
I don't
Being that
remember.
young?
Your mom told you?
Vaguely. I kind of remember the day.
Mom probably told, Renee probably told
But
her.
she told me like the whole thing.
Right.
Because she said you were sitting on
I was
the
going to say
floor.
that's unique in and of itself that you
Right.
remember that.
I mean, I remember some odd things
Yeah.
from when I was a kid. And I think I was one of those kids that was maybe more perceptive
odd.
then.
Right.
And yeah, I was a weird kid. Who would have guessed? But you know,
We all
I don't
were, so
get-
not to
I
worry.
don't see ghosts
Right.
anymore, but I was the kid that even when I was like a teenager, my
Mhm.
friends would be like, "My grandpa's house is supposed to be haunted. You need to come over because you'll let it." You know, like I'm a
Right.
perceptive cat or something.
So what item are you talking about?
It's not an item,
Oh.
but it's something still paranormal. So when I was really little, we had moved from the house that I was born into a second home.
Mhm.
And it was so close that my dad was still stopping on his way home from work all the time to pick up the mail or
Right.
check the lawn or
Mhm.
whatever, because the house hadn't sold yet. And I was sitting on the floor and my mom was making dinner. There was nothing on the
She's
television, nothing on the radio.
Hearts and everything are going up.
So there was
Mhm.
nothing that maybe would have triggered this line of conversation because I was
Right.
really little. Because she came in the room and said, you know, hey, you know, kiddo, what are you doing? And I said, fire. And she's like, what about fire? And I was like, fire. Like I was very insistent, but I wasn't specific. She's like, do you see one? Like I'm not, like the oven's not
You're
on.
not Joan of Arc, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm not that old.
That's
Didn't know where this
crazy.
was going.
So, and it was just like, you know, sometimes kids say something
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, cool. You know,
I
and
get
she
it.
went back to cooking. And my dad got home from work and had stopped to check the mail, and the house had burned down
Oh,
that we had just came from.
and you were saying fire.
Oh.
And I was
Wow.
for
And
no
somebody was
reason
telling you.
whatsoever
Yeah.
saying fire,
Right,
and she's
right.
like, "Yeah,
So-
all right, kids." So again,
Wow.
with the kids, pick
Exactly.
like, little antennas,
Pick
for
up different things.
Yeah.
Totally.
So if you have questions for Jessica, ask them, because Roberta puts them up on the screen and she'll tell us when there is. But I do have Jen, who mentioned that remember seeing her at Gettysburg, probably Annabelle,
Oh,
the original Annabelle,
Okay.
unless you spoke at Gettysburg.
I did not.
Okay,
speak
so
it.
the original
Like, the
Annabelle,
lady that owns him, maybe,
No,
or
I-
maybe
Or
the
his
maybe.
caretaker.
Could
The
this have-
caretaker travels to different like paranormal conventions around the country. So perhaps Jen is speaking about the caretaker of Robert.
or
That's-
Annabelle.
Or Annabelle. She
Mhm.
may have went. I have not investigated Gettysburg. When I went, I was a child.
I was going to
They
say
were
I
in
I was
can.
on a
Gettysburg
field
because
trip.
it was after New Orleans.
And
Okay.
I
When they were
can.
in New Orleans.
Oh,
a
yeah,
that
was
plantation burned
recent.
down,
Right.
Yes.
And then a couple weeks later, they
Yes.
took the Annabelle doll
Mhm.
on this recent tour
Yes.
to Gettysburg, and everyone was like, "Well, that's a haunted
Oh,
thing."
so
and a
that's
very
probably what it
haunted
was.
Place.
So Gettysburg would probably drive you insane.
Oh,
My goodness.
it's
yeah.
When you're
incredible.
dealing with large
Yes.
amounts of death.
Yes.
So we're going to take a walk, and you're going to do you feel anything at all by
So
chance?
I am not a medium, unfortunately.
No, I'm talking
not
about
a
the
medium,
items.
I'm not a psychic, so I can't really pick up on energies as much
Mm,
as
But your
some
machines
people.
can.
But my machines can.
So
My
we can walk
machines
around if you
can.
feel
Yes,
something, or if you
yes.
or something like this. But tell me, is this a haunted?
That's one of ours.
This,
That's one of
it
ours.
just is
Looks
a,
creepy.
Oh.
okay. So, well, this is the thing though. So a lot of times, and I'm sure you guys are aware too. I'm
I
like
thought
a,
she brought it.
No,
I am an avid collector of like anything. I collect Pyrex. You guys have seen me
Uh-huh.
on that before, as well as like spooky things.
You've seen her on here before.
And like
Mhm.
scary photos that kind of get this like double exposure. One
Mhm.
spot gets sun faded, or sometimes depending on where the pictures are placed, sometimes you'll get like a ghost of an image on the back of one of these photos because it was sitting in direct sun
Mhm.
and it caused the transfer of that emulsion. So this one is a very spooky photo.
And I can
It
tell
is
you
a spooky
guys
photo.
that postmortem photos are very hard to come by.
Yes.
And a lot of postmortem people who think postmortem
That is
photos
correct.
are postmortem photos. That is a tongue tie.
right?
Postmortem photos are
Exactly.
not post-mortem photos.
So photos back in the day took a really long time to take that picture.
And so
And
long sometimes.
You would have to stand still or be seated. Sometimes
or use
they
the
would
contraptions.
strap you in to a
Mhm.
post to keep your body still. It's really hard not to blink. So that's why sometimes you'll get like weird looking eyes in
Or the
photos
eyes
that are
closed or milky
exactly.
and
And
Or
same with
they're-
like babies.
yep.
To photograph a baby, the mom would have to sit there and hold the child. And that's when you
Mhm.
see, you know, like the hidden mother photographs.
And most postmortems are going to be elderly or babies because that would be
Correct.
their only photo. And sometimes you're saying, oh, but they're being strung up. Nope, that's the contraption to hold them in place.
Yes.
What is this?
So this is a haunted blanket. This blanket was, I had a friend that worked for an estate sale company. Someone bought this blanket from the estate sale company. It's native in origin. And the next day, they brought the blanket back. They didn't want any money. And said, I can't keep this. You have to take it back. I can't keep this blanket. They brought it home for one night. And the next day, they tried to, they just dropped it back off at the estate sale and said, nope. Can't have it. So my friend calls me and says, hey Jessica, I
have something
blanket
for you.
I was like, oh, okay. So it's just been residing with me ever since. But you know, I keep it in a safe space. And I think too that my house has a really good energy of it. My house has never really experienced, you know, hauntings or anything. So I think that my house just kind of is like a little safe haven. So
that is awesome. Am I missing anything you brought? Because we put some stuff out here just to add to the.
I think that is it.
Okay, so let me ask you, sage.
Sage.
Is sage something that, because you always see people, let's sage the house, let's do this. Does that work?
So,
and would you suggest it?
That's a good question.
I do love the smell.
I think that sage or prayers or blessings, I think it is only going to work if you want it and believe it to work. Okay. So if you are
not like
saging a house and you don't put any willing or spirit, like you don't put any energy and your own spirit into that activity, I don't think it's going to accomplish anything for you.
So it's the
However,
intention
it's
more
correct.
than the
It's the
physical.
intent rather than the physical. It's just, this is just a tool. Just like blowing cinnamon through your door on the first of the month.
Oh, I've
like,
not heard that. Have you?
It's just a tool.
Blowing cinnamon?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
This is why we're friends.
Exactly.
We keep going, oh my God, me too. About
So I
everything.
think that if you have belief in the sage, that it's going to cleanse your space, and you have that
But it's not
intent,
like a.
that it will work. But
It's not like an eraser.
Not a fail safe.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Even though it might look like one, it's not an eraser.
Yes.
Same with the salt.
You know, you supernatural fans. I'm like, I'm gonna have my being.
Yeah.
Be like, get the salt. But
So
people do that. For
exactly.
protection. They light candles.
Yes.
They cleanse areas with holy water, Florida oil, Florida water.
So I know you brought dowsing rods.
Yes.
But before we get started with those, I have a video for you guys to watch. And it is from, what is this?
Yeah, so this was my library presentation last week. This was at the Warren Civic Center, and I was teaching Ghost Hunting 101. So libraries usually in the spookier months will bring me in to present, whether it be talking about the haunted locations of Michigan, my own personal ghost stories, or just how to start ghost hunting. And Warren brought me in to teach a class on how to start ghost hunting. So this is me giving a demo.
That is awesome. That is awesome. And I know Nikki went there and made a couple of videos.
I took notes. I took a lot of photos. In fact, I took good pictures of her screen of all her equipment as well. So we can throw those up later too. They give like the names and descriptions.
Yeah,
of the
absolutely. And there's 2 other videos, but those will come out before Halloween, but in the next week or so. Why don't we throw it to the video?
Feet shoulder length apart, you're going to be more stable. You want to tuck your elbows into the side so that way they're not moving around or flopping around. You want to have just like a little slight curve of them so gravity can kind of help you, but these are dowsing rods. Now dowsing rods are awesome because you can make these yourself. I actually led a program, Kids Day event at Eloise Asylum this past year where we made dowsing rods and the kids were able to use those. Ultimately, we just use copper wire that you can get from the hardware store and some straws, like paper straws. And you just chop it, bend it, tie it off at the end, and then you have yourself a dowsing rod.
All right, there's a device on the ground here, so just a heads up, be cautious not to kick it. All right, so we're going to try ghost hunting. Now, just a quick disclaimer, anytime that you're ghost hunting, the majority of the time it's kind of boring and nothing exciting really happens. That's not to say that it can't be exciting and have something really cool happen. It's just TV, movies. For example, like a TV episode that you might watch of a paranormal show. They're filming that on multiple nights to get enough footage.
Oh, and then
to
probably
cram
got
it
30
into-
hours of footage.
exactly.
You get a half an hour show.
Exactly. So it is very rare
Understood.
for things to happen. However, to my knowledge, this is the first time anyone's ghost hunted time warp. Is that true?
Best of my knowledge.
Okay. So I have my recorder device. We're just going to set that down. On the floor here on my left-hand side, we have the REM pod. So the REM pod has that field that I was talking about where if something enters that field, see, I'm not physically touching it,
Right.
but it's able to pick up that my hand is in that space. And then over here, we have the footstep tracker. I'm going to up the sensitivity just a scotch. And we're going to give some dowsing rods each hand. Now, dowsing rods originally started with water divination, and that's where you were, it was called well witching. You can actually still be a well witcher today in
Or
2025.
dowsers,
And they would be dowsing for water. So originally it was a Y-shaped tree branch, and you would hold the tips of the Y, and the base of the Y would be down. And when you would walk over where there would be water for you to dig a well, the branch would dip down. And that's how you know that that's where you should dig for your water. So dowsing rods, my set here, are made out of copper. They are free floating. They have their own individual kind of tube, so that way I can't manipulate them and control them as much as if they were just actual sticks. Now, another thing too is not everybody can douse. It's definitely something that I think you have to be slightly born into. I kind of think spiritual sensitivity can like skip a generation. So my grandma was able to douse for well water. So I know that she was able to use dowsing rods, whereas my mom had no luck with it. And I think that I've been pretty successful in the past. So we're going to give that a shot too while we have the other devices laying around just to see if anything
What are you
happens.
dowsing for then?
So the main goal with dowsing rods is we want to be able to try to get a response. So whether that might be this or might be spread out like that.
But would it be from
They would be
an
moving.
energy here or in an object?
Yeah, or a spirit could come over and scoot them together. And the trick is, though, you have to stand super duper still, control your breathing, see if any of them move on their own. And we'll see. It's hard because there's so much in here that
Spins around and slaps you in the face.
maybe. All right.
Well, I do believe, and
Yeah.
when I'm the one that opens here in the mornings,
Yeah.
when I unlock that door and I step foot across the threshold, I say, "Good morning, everyone."
As you should.
Every morning.
As you should. I think that's important. Is anyone here with us tonight? So all of these different devices that I have on the floor and in my hands right now, these are just different tools that we can use to talk to you. So there's going to be some movement just from me because it is impossible, like we just talked about, it's impossible to
And
stand
they're
totally
free.
still.
They're free moving.
They are free moving. Now, one thing, circling back on kids, I led a Kids Day event at Eloise Asylum earlier this year where we brought in kids to ghost hunt, and that was like the first time that kids investigated.
What if you go over to religious?
Oh, something's happening right now, though. I'm going to keep telling the story, and maybe something will
Why
come
is that
from
pointing
it.
at me?
Well, it's probably just trying to open all the way. So when we were investigating at Eloise, I was running a dowsing rods workshop. And me and like 6 kiddos had just made dowsing rods, and we were all saying, "Can you show us what yes looks like, please?" And I was teaching the kids to do so with manners and respect. And when we said, "Can you show us what yes looks like?" every single set of dowsing rods swung closed and crossed over, and it was incredible. And I'm standing around with a whole bunch of kids, and they don't know what's going on. And I was like, this is
But you got spine chills.
cool. This is really cool. Can you make these swing open all the way for me? We want to learn some more about you.
Holy shit.
Okay. That was amazing. Thank you.
So do I.
Can you swing the other one for me?
You're gonna make Robert run.
Make the other one open all the way. It's weird too, because when you feel it in a spot like this, you can feel the tension of it like being pulled in that direction. Can you open the other one for me? Come on. You're so close. Okay. Well, let's see. Can you make them cross? Can you show me X marks the spot? Can you make them cross? No.
It's trying, it seems.
Can you make them move for me?
He wants to keep pointing at you.
When she first started telling the story, they were pointing straight at us, though.
Yeah,
I know.
As she was talking about them,
But
doing
that
the eye
one
shape, they
went
opened more
sudden
and more.
and a lot.
Yeah.
Can you move them? Can you make it close again?
It's having an easier time moving this one.
It's
Yeah,
staring
this
at
one's
you.
like the weight is stuck on it. I
Move
can feel
over there.
it. Make
It
them
wouldn't
cross.
surprise me if something was attached to me.
Do you watch over all of the antiques here at Time Warp Vintage?
Ask them if they watch over me.
Do you watch over Jason? What about Steve? Do you like that he says good morning every day that he comes in here and opens up the door? If you like that he says good morning, can you make them cross? Can you make them cross for us? And that's how we'll know that you appreciate when Steve says good morning. They're trying.
They're like waggling. But...
Yeah.
That one was undisputable.
Mm-hmm.
Should we try religious?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna move.
Is it? Oh.
That's me moving.
Oh.
We're moving.
All right. Do you
All
need
right,
to
I'm going
carry
to take my goodies here too. It's going to be really loud and annoying for a second, so I'm just going to turn them off over transitioning here.
People always say the side
Like
over
the
there.
reliquary.
So where are we going?
No, actually, that's not where they say.
No. Okay.
Everybody
follow
always
you.
says they feel something over this way in this area over here.
Okay.
That's where religious is up there.
Right.
But people always say there's something back this way.
We're moving in. Okay. We have moved to the clothing side of the shop. Put our devices back down.
I do have a story I may try to tell.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Why is that red?
It was just registering the movement of me putting
Oh,
it down.
okay.
But if you see, like your ground is cement, so it's going to be kind of hard for that one to really pick anything up. All right, we'll give it a shot though. So this time we're going to try something a little different. So on the floor here, I have 2 red dots. If anyone is with us, can you walk over to those red lights on the ground and can you just give them a little touch? Can you walk over to those devices on the ground? We can use them to talk to you. It'd be really cool. You'll go viral on Facebook.
We've got 7 people currently watching on this device.
With bated breath.
If you walk over and hit either of those red lights, we'll know and we'll be able to talk to you. Can you walk over and talk to us here? Or perhaps that little black device that's sitting by the clothing, you can go over and talk into that.
We're going to have to bring it back over there in about 3 minutes because his battery's dying on his phone.
Is anyone here with us? It would be hard not to think that in a shop so full of antiques that there's not anything that has
True.
some sort of attachment to
We
it.
can try closer to the religious real quick if you want.
Yeah. Let's move. Let's just give it a shot. We'll
Okay.
see what happens. All right, we're moving. Turn that one off. I'll carry this one from the base. Hopefully it's not annoying. Nope, it's annoying. Okay.
It's the 90s.
I know. Sounds like that ghost. All right. Let's see.
Or you can put them right on the religious case over the medals and rosaries. Could be energy there.
Medals and rosaries. Got it. We'll put this on here too. So it'll vibrate a little bit easier. Oh, I love these ones that have the skull and crossbone on them. I have a couple of those too. All right. So we are over by a whole slew of religious memorabilia, medallions, and rosaries, and reliquaries, and Bibles. Plenty of holy devices that I'm sure have a lot of energy from folks using those to focus their intent and pray to their spiritual beliefs.
Would glass matter?
I don't think it would.
No.
No, I don't think it would change it.
Well, the good thing about this is it shows peaceful or none. So come shop.
And don't worry about taking anything home with you.
Exactly.
Although the divining rods or the
Yes.
Yeah.
The dowsing rods. That was
the
pretty
dowsing
cool.
rods. Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
So what is it supposed to do? That's supposed to turn.
So if you kind of pass its bubble.
Oh, okay. So if something comes through.
Correct. Yep. And then
I
this
see.
one is that if
Yeah.
it gets hit, it's registering that there was
Well,
a
if there's
step on
any
it.
here
Give
that
it
are
the same
similar to-
choices.
Yeah.
If there's any here that are similar to me and Steve, we're playing with you right now. Mhm.
If
Yeah,
there's
there's like, I'm
anyone
absolutely
here,
not
touch
doing
the
any of this.
machines.
Yeah,
I
can you
won't
walk
say good
over
morning
and touch
next
the red
time.
light? Let us know that you appreciate that Steve says good morning every day. Can you just touch one of these red lights for us?
Well, maybe they're sleeping.
Maybe.
Maybe we sold
Maybe.
them.
And that's the other thing too. That's like a very common misconception in the in the movies is that paranormal activity only takes place in the evening.
It can take place anytime.
It can take place anytime. It's
The
just in
same.
the evening we do ghost hunting because it's quieter outside. There's no
Mhm.
kids playing soccer.
Right.
And when it's dark, our senses of like sound
Mhm.
and feeling increase. So we become a little bit more sensitive when it's dark, when we lose our vision.
Well, let's walk back and see
Okay,
what we got back there.
sounds good.
You got everything?
Yeah. Oh, busted the knob right off that guy. Come on now. Get back on there. Okay. It's like such a bad noise when it's moving. Okay, very inconvenient.
All right, we're heading back over from our paranormal walk. Hello, everybody.
Just on the,
Yeah,
counter here
exactly.
where
We'll
we're
just
all
see what
chatting and
happens.
see if
Yeah,
everyone
put it
wants-
Here,
here.
this is what I'll do. So I'll
And
put it,
we are going to be switching. Okay, so I got to tell you, this is the first time we've used a walk around camera,
yeah.
and I'm very happy. So those of you who are watching, please understand that the moments of silence is because we were trying to get the spirits to contact us.
Exactly.
And sorry for the shakiness if there was any. We were handhelding
Oh, no,
it.
no.
So
I-
anyways, we'll use that more often because that seemed quite easy,
That
didn't
was
it,
awesome.
Roberto?
Yeah, that was great.
That's awesome.
So Steve, you have a story. Come over
It's
here.
Not necessarily about a ghost, but it's kind of a premonition I had when I was younger. When I was a teenager, we moved to a new neighborhood. I fell in with a group of kids in the neighborhood. They had already been growing up together, so some of them had already graduated high school. They were older than me. I really didn't get to know them that well, but I knew who they were. They were still in the group of friends, but they now had licenses and they went out and did stuff. Anyways, in 1981, I was at my dad's house in the garage, and a neighbor came over, one of the friends that I hadn't really spoken to much, and he had told me that somebody had passed that was part of that group. And he told me who it was, and I about fell over because it was really weird. The night before, well, 2 nights before, I had a dream. And in the dream, I was in a white 1965 Mustang convertible with a black top, black interior. And I was in the backyard of a house, 3 doors down, kitty corner across the street. And in the next yard was my friend Alan, who was one of these older guys too from the group. And why I was in the front seat of this car, it wouldn't have happened that way. But anyways, I was in the front seat of this white 65 Mustang, and there was a built-in pool in the next yard, and there was a fence between them. And I was with 5 people in the car, and I was in my own little world. Everybody was talking, but I was kind of just like everything was blurry around me, how I remember it. And I noticed that the pool next to me started bubbling, and it was green smoke that was coming up out of the bubbles, and it was forming into a shape above the water.
In your dream?
In my dream.
Okay.
And it was this green, hideous face that was laughing at me. And it was just laughing as it formed over the pool. And then it moved across the yard. It came over to the fence. It lifted up. It came over a bit, came down over the fence, came right up to the window of the car, and laughing the whole time hideously. And then it vanished. And I remember waking up and thinking, what the hell was that all about? Well, 2 days later, when Paul, the neighbor, came over and told me, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Johnny Grammatico, one of the guys that was part of this group, who was like the tough kid in the neighborhood. He was 5-6 years older than me. So I didn't know him that well. But when I did know him, he drove a white 1965 Mustang. And his house was the house that we were in the backyard next to Alan's pool. And I looked at Paul and I says, well, how did John die? And he said he drowned. And I was just floored. It turns out they were up north. He was got dropped off on a boat on a little pier, little dock. And rather than walk down the dock and across the yard to the house he was staying at, he jumped off the dock and walked across the water and had a drop off, and he couldn't swim and he drowned.
That's too bad.
But that was bad in of itself, because it was his house. It was his next door neighbor's pool. It was his car. And I would have never been in the front seat. I didn't know him that well. There was a certain hierarchy of who got the front seat, and I wasn't one of them. So that's why I know it was a dream. But the really weird part of it all was, I don't know if it was his wife or his girlfriend, but she was pregnant at the time when he passed. And then that was in the summer of 81. That following October, my brother had 2 identical twin boys born Devil's Night, of all things, my nephews. And I was at South Macomb Hospital, and I was looking at them in the window in the baby ward. And for some reason, I just walked away, and I was drawn to this crib on the other side. I had to walk all the way around 3/4 or halfway around the area and look in the window. And I walked right up to a crib, and it was Johnny Grammatical Jr.
Oh,
wow.
And
that is
I
weird.
cannot explain it. I don't know.
Did you ever talk to him?
I know his Johnny Grammatical Jr. sells real estate in Metro Detroit. No, I haven't.
Oh.
But I have heard that he's around. But it was just a weird.
Someone's going to take him on here and listen to the story.
I was really, really
born.
Wow.
Yes. So that is I've never heard that. I've known him for 25 years.
I don't talk about it much. But at that point, and I had one other one where I saw my friend Chris in the seat next to me when I was getting ready to pass between parked cars and a tree, and my car fit between them. 78 Magnum with 6 inches on each side, and I went through a house, but I hit the trees or the cars. But anyways, when I snapped my head back up, when I hit the curb and my head snapped back, Chris was sitting in the seat next to me. So I always felt that I had a certain susceptibility to this.
You could.
And for that reason, I always made sure
I didn't know this.
that when I went to sleep, that
which camera are we looking at? This one. Again, I did not know that about this, and I've known him for 25 years. So let me ask you something, and we're getting close to the time, but that's okay. Can you move by? And no, right here. Oh, what else do we have? Anything else that you brought?
So I have just a couple other little segues. One about dreams. So dream visitations. What does that look like? How do you know if you're having a visitation from your loved one? Well, I've experienced dream visitations. My mom unfortunately passed away from COVID-19 almost
sorry.
5 years ago.
My
Thank
stepfather
you.
did.
Oh, it's horrible. It truly is. And she came to me in a dream multiple times, actually. And one of the dreams, she showed me her forever clothes. You always see all the jokes on Facebook, the memes going around, and it's like, oh, I got to make sure I look good today because this might be my ghost outfit.
Oh, yeah.
But she picked out a new outfit and she showed me, and it was like we were in her bathroom and the sun was beaming through the window, and she opened a garment bag from Macy's, you know what I mean? And in the garment bag was, she said, this is my forever outfit. And it was an outfit that I've never seen her wear before, but it was an outfit that's very much her style. Like if I would have been like, Mom would wear that. And she showed me that. But dream visitations, and it sounds like this is very similar for you. You remember every small little detail.
Mhm.
When
Oh, I
you
remember
think
that
about
look on
it,
that face,
you
too.
remember how you were feeling. You
Mhm.
remember how the light quality was. You remember where exactly you were. It's very vivid, and time feels really slow. In
Yes.
dream visitations too, it's like it's very slowed down. Like time's in silly putty. As I
Do
like
you
to put
believe
it.
that they come back when somebody dies? Like, okay, for instance, and we're gonna go a little long, so just enjoy. So, do you believe that when somebody close to you dies, that they come back to tell you it's okay or not to worry, something like that? Because when my parents died, my brothers died. When I got to California with my aunt and uncle, I remember clearly, and I was 11 years old at this point, 10, maybe the end of 10.
Okay.
And I remember clearly my father sitting on the end of the bed with his hand on my leg telling me it's going to be
Oh
okay.
my gosh.
I remember that clearly.
Yeah.
I can tell you exactly
Right.
the blankets that were on me, everything. But it was only for like a brief second.
Yes. Yeah. So I think that ultimately the spirits know if we need that sign or that visitation.
Okay.
Sometimes people will come to me and they're like, I just want a sign more than anything. I just don't understand why my loved one's not
But the
coming
signs
to me.
are coming. You're just not.
The signs might be coming and they're not seeing it.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, that sign might do more harm
Mhm.
than good. And even though you think that it's going to be very beneficial for you, it might actually cause more problems and
Right.
reopen that trauma. Now, the other thing is too, is that when you see a sign, you need to acknowledge that that's the sign. So if you want to symbolize, a specific bird, like, cardinals or butterflies
Right.
are
Mhm.
very common.
Dimes, feathers.
Exactly, things like that. But for my mom, it was a blue Ford Flex, and she had a specific one with a white top, and that was her car. So every time I see that car, I'm like, that's
Mhm.
mom traveling with me. That's mom when I need a sign, etc. And I was doing the yard sale trail out in Port Huron,
Mhm.
which is 45 minutes, an hour away from here, whatever. And there was my mom's actual car with the Mystic Mitten logo still attached.
Oh,
on
wow.
it, that we had sold
To somebody else,
to
but they left it on.
else.
Oh.
And they left the sticker on because they're like, oh, we thought it was so cool that there was like this paranormal sticker on this car, so we just left it on
I
there.
could say that because he came in. So my ex,
Okay.
Steve Langlois, passed away, was killed in a car crash after we had broken up. But we were together for 11 years. And when was it? A couple years ago? 10 years ago? He walks in with a record that he bought at some random garage sale.
Yeah.
And when he pulled it out, he goes, Jason, look. And it had Stephen Langlois' name on it. He had written his name on it.
Oh my gosh.
And it was his writing.
It was his writing. And so I called his sister and I said, here.
Oh.
But
cool.
it could be him saying,
right.
When you saw that, did like the blood run out of your face?
Like you
Did
wouldn't
notice his
believe.
look got,
Like you saw a ghost?
Yeah,
Like you wouldn't believe. Remember that? Because he pulled out, he goes,
Wow.
isn't this your ex? And I looked at it and I'm like, and he was killed by a Texter driver.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, back in as young girl.
Oh.
But so I'm a big believer in that.
Absolutely.
What was the other thing you wanted to-
Absolutely. I had one more story too
Yeah.
that I wanted to share, and then
No,
I want to talk
you're
about my
good.
Sinclair first thing. Is going back to kids. Okay.
Mhm.
So when I was a child, I was terrified of everything. Like when I was like grade school, like
Mhm.
5th grade and younger, I wouldn't even go trick or treating. I was so scared of Halloween. I wouldn't leave my house. Nothing. It's crazy. And
Look at you now.
I know. Look at me now.
Halloween
Well, so
The Halloween
we
queen.
did this sleepover at my friend's house down the street, and we decided to play Bloody Mary. But I was too
I
chicken.
remember
That one used to get me.
I
when
was
a
too
kid.
chicken to go into the bathroom. Okay.
Right.
So I stood in the hallway, and they
While
tried
they did
it,
it?
and it didn't work. They added a candle, it didn't work. They added a tomato because you need something red.
And then you
And
stepped in.
I didn't go in, but they all came running out as I saw a hand come out of where the mirror was from the bathroom.
There wasn't one of them you want a door on them? No, I'm
My
kidding.
mom was like, I didn't come home. I didn't come home right now. Because like they all saw it from their perspective.
Right.
And I saw it from the 3-dimensional of the arm.
Right, you were on the side.
Correct.
So you saw it come out.
Correct.
Whereas to them, it looked like it was in there coming.
Yes, yeah. So that's just kids. You can conjure some.
I feel like my
I feel like
children
you
and
could.
I all had like some crazy stories.
Yeah, because before this, she was running around going, I wish we had a Ouija board.
Right, I know. Like, let's not tempt everything.
No, I know.
One other thing I do want you to talk about if we have the time.
Oh, we
is
do.
The
Go
item
ahead.
that you got at an estate sale.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I heard
We
you
did.
got an estate at one of our estate
I've been
sales.
dying. I was like,
I would have
wanted-
brought it, but it's so fragile. So
no, I get
it's
it.
this
Don't
beautiful
remember it.
morning piece. It's probably a little larger than this. Okay. This was an estate sale shortly after my mom passed. So this would have been like 2022, 2021.
Okay.
Like just when estate sales started to kind of like
Something we
pick
Come
back
back
up.
with
and
our-
they- yeah.
Was-
And this was a sale that was probably within like, I don't know, 20 minutes from here.
Okay.
And me and Hillary went to it, and there was this morning piece that I wanted. And I was like, I love this so much. Like, I'm sad. My mom's dead. I need something that I need to splurge and buy myself
Right.
something. So I'm going to buy some.
Was
dead
it a
people's
wreath?
Stuff. No, it was just like one of those certificates.
Oh,
That's
okay.
like the artwork, and it has like the date
Mhm.
of death date, birth date, etc., and like a little
You
poem.
should have brought your wreath.
And I want one of those so bad. So I was doing an interview with Meltdown from
Okay.
the Riff.
Yep.
And you guys ended up having that piece on day 2 of the sale.
Uh-huh.
I ended up actually bought like a jewelry box
Do you remember it?
that was like a gold tree. And I bought the jewelry box because it was making tinging noises on its own. And I was
Right.
like, is this haunted? It's only $6, whatever. I think it's pretty. I'm going to buy it. So I bought those 2 pieces. And I'm doing this interview with Meltdown from the Riff. And all of a sudden, there's this loud crash, like boom. And he's like, what was that? And I was like, I have no idea. I'm right off the bat, I don't see anything out of place.
Mhm.
I have a chinchilla over in that area of the room, but that was like way too
Right.
loud to be my chinchilla. So after we wrapped the podcast, that piece had lifted off the hook that it was on. Like the hinge is still on it, like the hook is
Mhm.
still on the back of it, had lifted off the hook and slid down between the wall and my chinchilla's cage.
Do you think it didn't
It
like
did not
what you?
break. No, I think it was my mom. And my mom was like, yes, get it. You're on Meltdown. Like, this is awesome. Like,
I
you
love
should be
that.
cool. Like, you should be happy. Like,
What a
this
great
is a cool
story.
experience. Yeah. But it was a piece that I bought from one of your estate sales.
Awesome.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, we don't do estate sales anymore, but it was one of our last ones.
Yes.
So that's good.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, there's a store up the street called, and I know we're running late, like I said, enjoy. So there's a store up the street called, what was it called? The ones that you got the 2 wreath pictures from.
Oh, secondhand rose.
Secondhand Rose, and they did
Oh.
not want these pieces.
Wow.
And so they called us and we went and bought them from
Oh.
them, but she got one of them. They
Oh,
are,
you lucky-
they're about that size,
lucky dog.
if not bigger.
Deep frame
And
too.
it's
Yeah.
many generations of hair
Exactly.
in
You
a
can see all the
wreath.
colors. And
You want to
some
know
of them are
another thing that I
beaded.
know how to
Mm.
do is make hair art.
Do you really? Because I
chopped
don't.
my hair off and kept the braid, thinking I would do morning
Yeah.
jewelry, and I can't braid that
We had
time.
an older couple that came in here, and
Uh-huh.
they had taken classes on it or lessons
Okay.
at Greenfield Village.
At Greenfield
really?
Village. Yeah.
Wow.
If they do
How
still-
cool
If you
is
know how to
that?
do that, teaching a class would
Yeah.
be cool.
Yeah, it would
We
be
should
cool.
get together.
Yeah,
We
that
should
would be
teach a
cool.
class.
Yeah,
We should
I wouldn't
do.
say I'm like great at it.
No,
by
but
any
you know
means,
what?
but,
That's
like,
how
I
you-
can make a flower.
If you can make a flower, then you're good
Yeah,
at it.
exactly. You
Then
can do
you're
whatever
great
you
at it
need.
compared to what we can do. Although I'm surprised you don't
awesome.
know how to make
I
them.
wanted to learn. I
It's
kept,
really-
like, last
yeah.
time I chopped my hair real short, I braided it and kept
Right.
the braid. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I want to do, hair jewelry or like the
Mhm.
little plates that you can put
Exactly.
inside
They're
a
talking
locket.
about memorial jewelry, which
Oh, I
is
know.
Yes. It's
Go
from,
ahead and explain a
It's from
little
the
bit.
Victorian era.
Mhm.
So, back in the day, like the same time frame of those photos, like you would live your entire life and
Yeah.
you would never have your picture taken until
Yeah.
you were deceased, and that would be the only photo of you to
Mhm.
exist. But at that same time, we didn't have like worldly possessions. And most females at least would grow their hair
Yeah.
out, and some would never even cut their hair, so
Mhm.
they would have long, luscious locks, and usually the family would braid that and cut the braid and keep the braid, and
that
hair
would be
lasts.
made into
It's-
memorial,
yeah,
right?
and it would
Yeah.
turn into these beautiful wreaths that are hand woven
Yes.
flowers, and
maybe take a picture of yours and
they're
I'll
I
post
will.
it.
I'll get a picture of
Mhm.
mine. In fact, I got to dig it out. We'll get together, have coffee.
Yeah,
I'll bring my
because,
dead stuff. You bring your dead
Before
stuff.
photographs, that would have been your
Right.
lineage.
exactly.
Before, oh
yeah.
yeah,
Places by that.
Oh,
yeah, we got
so
all these from the
beautiful.
historical
Oh
museum.
Oh my gosh.
See if it,
Oh yeah, you
Oh,
can put
yeah.
your thing to that. While we do this, tell us about your haunted
Yeah,
excursion coming
Yeah.
up.
So
The fun haunted houses.
the fun haunted houses.
I
So
got it.
not only I'm just trying to find a what was going on
Oh,
here.
here.
Let's just put this on here. So not only do I do paranormal haunted things, I
Mhm.
also started the St. Clair Shores Halloween tour.
Mhm.
Now the St. Clair Shores Halloween tour is a self-guided tour of 25 of the best Halloween displays in St. Clair Shores. It is a contest. People submit their houses. We go out and judge. The contest did close Monday.
The 22nd. No.
Yeah, the 13th
The
at
13th,
midnight.
yeah.
Well, the 12th. Yeah, the 13th at midnight. So applications at this point are closed, but we will be judging and reviewing the rest of the houses this week. That's going to be the tour dates are the 24th and the 25th, so Friday and Saturday, a couple weeks from now, between the hours of 6 and 9. 6 to 7 is like the kid-free, or like the kitty scaredy cat area. If you have kiddos with sensitivity or might be too afraid to have like actors and monsters, there's no actors permitted during 6 to 7. So that first hour,
it's still kind of light
it's
out.
Still
then,
light
too,
out
right? Yeah.
too. But yeah, it's really awesome. So this was just something that I started. Now, when I was a kid and I was terrified of Halloween, I started working at a haunted house.
Right.
And that's when I was not afraid of anything. So
Right.
that's been incredibly helpful with ghost hunting too, because you can put me in the darkest quarters. You can go tell me to walk in the woods by myself for a mile.
You just went full
and I'll be
immersion
fine.
therapy
I was like, you know what? Maybe I won't be scared if I'm the scary. And then ever since that, now here I am. Ghost hunting.
They drive to those houses
Yes,
themselves.
they
So
drive to the
how do they
houses.
know what houses to go to?
So on our Facebook page, St. Clair Shores Halloween Tour, or also on Instagram, SES Halloween, we will post the map. That map will be coming out this weekend. And it will have all of the addresses for you, as well as a Google link that you can just click and use that to navigate from house to house.
Nice.
But a lot of the houses do very immersive things. Like, for example, my house, we have fog, we have sound, we have special effect lighting. And then we also have actors. So my husband and I will be dressed up out there acting and entertaining. So it's a lot of fun.
I'm surprised you
It's
didn't
a family-free event too. So it's great for everybody to just pile in the car, stop at one of our local coffee or ice cream shops, get a snack on the road, and just drive around and see some really cool decorations.
So while we
self-guided, but you stop and
right.
It's kind of like going to a haunted house.
Exactly.
There's a little interaction. That's so fun.
So while we look at this, Steve and I had the pleasure of going to, and then we'll come back after this video, and then you guys will be released from us. But Steve and I had the, I'm blocking you, I'm sorry. Steve and I had the pleasure of meeting with Dave Marchione at the from the Detroit Historical Museum at Somerset Mall to talk about, what's it called? Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
I remember that, which is a walk down history lane for Detroit. So this specific clip that you're going to see is Steve talking to Dave about the B. Siegel sign that Steve found at a house in Grosse Pointe and saved, right? So and donated to Historical Museum, and now it's up in things. And then when we get back, we're going to see if this registers, and then we'll let you go. So go ahead.
Hello everyone, Steve with TWL again. I'm here with Dave Marchione, and we're in Somerset Collection still looking at the Oh My Gosh, Remember That collection or display. And this is something that I'm a little more familiar with. This is a B. Siegel sign that was on one of the stores before they closed. I actually got a call to go to a home in Grosse Pointe Park, and a woman had this in the garage and she wanted to sell it. So I bought it. Because the letters are individually they don't have a base. I didn't know what to do with it. I had a lot of people that wanted to buy the individual letters, but I didn't want to break it up. So I called Dave.
Well, and we get a lot of questions about how we get items for this historical society, and this really kind of answers that question. The fact that Steve found it, and like you said, the value in these signs, unfortunately for a lot of people, is just the letters. So they want to take their initials and hang them on the wall. And whereas that saves a piece, with retail, and we talk about this exhibit being about things that you remember and feelings and all that sort of thing. If your grandmother shopped at B. Siegel, this is a huge piece of it. And if Steve hadn't thought enough of it to keep it together and not just part it out, then it's gone. So the fact that it's here, and then when we were talking about putting the exhibit together and we were looking at some retail items, of course, because we're at Somerset, B. Siegel was a big part of Detroit retail. They had a location downtown. They had a location on the Avenue of Fashion. Unfortunately, I don't think we know exactly where this one came from, right, Steve? But it's the aluminum channel letters that are 70s and 80s style.
Yes, and she kept it together because she didn't want to see it broken up, and I felt the same way. It's Detroit history, and what better place for Detroit history than the Detroit Historical Society?
Well, and it makes a great window display, and then if you look at the boxes, those are 60s era, so that's at a time when they had you notice even the boxes are printed and screen printed and well made and constructed. That's why your grandmother, like my grandmother would keep hat boxes for Christmas ornaments. That's why people kept these things, because they were so well constructed you could use them for other things.
Just like the Stroh's cases.
Yeah, I think
indestructible.
I think half the Stroh's cases I have are labeled for something else than somebody. Oh, this is Christmas decorations.
Duct tape or masking tape on the end in black letters.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, this is, like I said, it's a neat piece of Detroit history. We see a lot of Hudson stuff. But some of the contemporaries, like the Crowleys and B. Siegel, there just isn't as much stuff because they didn't have as big a presence in Detroit. So we're fortunate to have them.
I'm really proud that you guys actually felt enough about it that you put it in the display. I really think it's a great add-on.
Well, as soon as I knew that it was going to, because with these displays, you put things up and take things down and put things up and take things down. As soon as I knew it was going to stay, that's when I texted you the first time to let you know that it was coming out of collections to be displayed.
I was really pleasantly surprised and very proud.
As you should be. It's a great save.
Thank you.
We're back.
And we're back. And I know Jessica's sitting here trying to see if this morning jewelry down here, or not jewelry per se, is talking to her. And it looks like it's being quiet. But Jessica, thank you so much for joining us and taking us through this. It is something that I love. It is something I believe in. I would like to get together with you to talk about the home I grew up in, or I lived in until I was 10. And Nikki, thank you. I love having you on. It's always fantastic. And wherever Steve went. So he disappeared. So anyways, join us next Tuesday. We are going to have, what's his name?
Did Michael end up doing
Michael.
Is he? Yeah, so he's going to be on. Is that next Tuesday?
That's next Tuesday already, the 21st.
We'll be filming at the Crocker House for collection.
We are.
Oh, good.
Michael's going to show us his vintage Halloween collection, and they have it set up like a vintage store.
Yep.
But he is the owner of this fantastic
collection.
Halloween vintage and antique collection.
So you will see that in video but he is going to be here with a few pieces and talking to us about his collection that he has at the Crocker House and what the Crocker House does for Halloween.
Yeah, they're doing on the 18th.
Yeah,
their event. So he'll be here afterwards to talk about all of the things.
Yeah,
but they should still have the house set.
Well, and Christmas is coming, so there's a lot the Crocker House does for that as well.
And they also do paranormal investigating at the Crocker House at the upcoming event this 18th. So
are you going to be there doing it?
Probably going to be there. I did go a couple years ago, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah. But my favorite part was seeing Michael's incredible collection. Because I am also a vintage Halloween collector. I collect everything. What else is new? But his collection is like, it blows mine away.
And if if it's in a museum, it's something.
Yes.
So you'll be seeing that. So I'm excited to say that. Otherwise, we will see you next Tuesday. Thank you.